Hello. Welcome back to the craziness that is my stream. Ah. Hi. Hello. How we doing? Okay, what are we playing next? We're gonna bop to this jam for a little bit. My computer just threw a fit in the middle of my VC with voice call with my boyfriend. I am hurt. Oh no, Sky, I'm so sorry. Oh, that is the worst. I am so sorry to hear that. I'm gonna uninstall you. Do we just want to continue playing Not for Broadcast for now? I think we're gonna do that. for broadcast. It's done. This is done. So, just a refresher. This is my second playthrough of Not For Broadcast, and we are doing a Disrupt run, so going with the Rebels, trying to get another ending. Last time we played this, we played through the lockdown episode twice because we wanted to get a different ending. Because I didn't realize how to get a different ending. Or how to get a different song. So, yeah. I like this new playlist I chose. It's really quite good. Also, Riggs, I don't know if you're still in chat. Never mind. I'll just DM them later. It's all good. That pipe though.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Jones. Our main headlines tonight.
How are we doing? Turning down the volume just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Back into Not For Broadcast. Right, so we wake up from being electrocuted. We've gone through this, I think. Thanks for coming. Oh. Fuck. Definitely good, right? I'm definitely good. Nothing wrong here. Are you okay, Mom? Things considered. Turn to close the door. The least he could do. Okay. 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 You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which normally isn't a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam at the table, bills and papers strewn in front of them, and what looks like their second pack of biscuits. They give you a quick kiss as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill that they're holding. Hey, sweetie, just looking at the numbers again. They look at the door to the pantry, now converted to your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. I've been working it out, and I think we might just be able to afford it. But with Susie home to help out, and a part-time nurse, it's still a lot of money. Sam smiles at you, but you can see this has been waiting on them. Things are already difficult, and it isn't making any easier. But she is your mother. We really have to, don't we? Yes, we'll have to make it work somehow. The sword of Damocles is sheathed. At least for the moment. You grab the papers and stuff them into a drawer. It's such a relief not to have to worry about it anymore. Or so you told Sam. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, how long will the money last? Don't worry, money's not going to be a problem. We'll figure it out. It's all good. I promise you it's all good. You're watching the TV with Sam when Charlie comes home for the evening. School finished a while ago, but he's been home late more and more recently. You both shrug and finish your episode of Me, My Dalmatians, and I. After it ends, you say goodnight to Sam. You've got an early start in the morning, and at the top of the stairs on your way to bed, you notice a new poster on Charlie's door. It's homemade, but the image is distinct. A fist seemingly in orange spray paint with a black background. The well-known symbol of Disrupt. Considering last time he joined Advance, I'm not surprised this is what happened. Seems those friends of his are an interesting bunch. Just be safe, Charlie. I'm gonna get Charlie killed, aren't I? That's what's gonna happen, right? Okay, I want Moobs, Crazy Meal, oh.
Today, now.
Don't worry.
Moobs,
No, it won't be all right, Kat. Pack up
Crazy Neil,
before destruction and get out.
and Acid Plastique.
I mean it, Kat.
Oh.
Stay where you are, Kat.
Oh, I get well soon
This is
card.
Jen's decision, Jeremy. All yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Bugs.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Sorry, in
high-mighty
5,
and do your job.
You'll
4,
have me fired too.
3.
Don't me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing.
Hold on one second. I just realized something. Please forgive me, my audience who need these. I keep forgetting to do this. I really need to make, like... Okay. Captions are now on. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Okay.
Even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
It's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it? Eh?
Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff.
Controversial Prime Minister Julia Salisbury attempted to assuage growing public concerns with the following official statement released earlier today.
The international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming to power, we have eradicated poverty and, as a consequence, seen crime fall to levels previously thought impossible. Our schools, hospitals and youth clubs are thriving, and our transition centres have enabled many thousands to unburden their loved ones with dignity. In any sane world, we would be held up as a model to emulate. Evidently, this is not that world. The privileged few have lobbied, and now they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums.
The tantrums.
And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid. We have more friends than we can count. We are a team. Now more than ever.
She looks frazzled
This
and like she's about to
team
cry.
is on your side. Thank you.
Reassuring stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the
Fuck, I hit the wrong one. I hit the wrong one.
Across the little one. And people.
I hit the wrong one, and considering I'm doing a disrupt run, I'm not gonna take any mistakes this time.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny, problem? I want her fired today, now.
Facial sabotage.
No, it won't be.
Saboteur of the
Pack up
facial
your weapons of
kind.
optical destruction and get out.
Facial sabotage.
You realise I'm getting to sound.
Saboteur
I mean it, Kath.
of the facial kind.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Wow, when did she
Jenny.
become... This was the same dialogue that we got last
Sorry,
time.
Kath, you're gonna have
Or
to
at least literally before I restarted. But I don't think she was this
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly
bitchy.
blinded
10
me.
seconds,
That's what
everybody.
we've
Not
got on
bitchy,
team
but
these
like
days.
Things are better, Jeremy. You know
stuck
that.
up.
Just stop being so
Sorry,
high
in
and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it will be their billionaires
Fuck.
next, but I trust...
I did not realize that's what she would say. I wanna go down the disrupt path, which makes me think that everything should be negative, but I thought that the fact that that we were dealing with the consequences of what Advanced was doing, right? Right, am I wrong? Says random gibberish to try and prove a point.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny, problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath. It'll be all right.
No, it
Dave
won't
was
be
here.
all right, Kath.
Dave
Pack up your
was
weapons of
here.
optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Sorry, in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
Alright, here we
I'm
go.
Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
Well, I think it's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it? Eh? What's the government doing about it?
Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Controversial Prime Minister Julia Salisbury attempted to assuage growing public concerns with the
I
following
see the word
official
assuage and it looks like a
released
sausage.
earlier today.
And now I
The
just want
international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming
We need to
power,
sausage
we have
the problem.
eradicated poverty and as a consequence seen crime fall to levels.
Also, that
previously
necklace
thought
has got to be
impossible.
super heavy. I know that they're like hollow and like
Schools,
fake and
hospitals,
stuff,
youth
but I
clubs
don't
are
know
thriving,
why
and our
anyone would
transition
wear a
centres have enabled
statement
many
necklace
thousands
that
to unburden
big.
their loved ones with
Unless you were like a
impunity.
rapper, but then you would have
In
like
any sane world, we would
gold
be held up
chains
as a
like that.
model
Like
to
that I
emulate.
understand, but just fake pearls like
Evidently, it's
size
not
of
that
baseballs
world.
on your chest is weird.
The privileged few have lobbied.
Sorry, I keep
and
hitting my
now
desk.
they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums. And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid. We have more friends than we can count. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Reassuring stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks, punishing success and rewarding laziness. They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington Spist's physics-defying MOOBS project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converge on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
So, any thoughts about the MOOBS project, one way or the other?
Well, that is something I really care about.
Fantastic, great. So, what do you think about it? So here, the MOOBS project.
Well, ever since Harold grew his, we've had much better options on Tassel Tuesdays.
No, we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about the tunnel through the earth.
Oh,
Tassel
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
In that case, I don't really care. I'm different now.
Pipers at the gates of dawn. Commuters in the capital this morning found themselves surprised and amused by the latest stunt from popular pressure group Disrupt.
Silent protests were held outside underground stations throughout the capital, bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country, really feel about Disrupt? Robin?
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you
poor
both feel
Iris.
they're a cause worth supporting?
Well,
Poor Iris,
doesn't
I
speak
feel
on
bad
mine,
for
but
Iris.
I'm pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the oiks for our freedom. And what can possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Build that wall. Divided doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborgen-Orgensford today sent an intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
But how should we feel about sending construction materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon again.
How much help should we give the trapped scientists with their wall?
How much? I'll tell you how much. This much.
Don't hit me!
You right?
I am
You
not
all
a
right?
member. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what
I'm
should
sorry,
you
but I
think
would like to
think
not
about the new
have to
team
pay for my
membership
IDs. That sounds like a great idea.
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. It's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your derriere.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon. I'm so sorry.
Crikey.
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman Johnny Handsleeves is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning, Johnny showed everyone he's certainly full of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
Oh my god, fantastic!
Your thoughts there?
Later tonight, in a break from our usual responsibilities, Jeremy will be taking popular rapper Jesus to task over his street credibility. And then we'll both be meeting the team behind the new play that's got theatre critics buzzing with anticipation.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News.
First tonight, let's return to our main story.
With the shine coming off Advance's popularity
And the honeymoon period pretty much over,
the National Nightly News has spared no expense in bringing you the response to today's sanctions from across the continent.
joining us to help digest this shocking development are Prime Minister Peter Clement from his home in Lancashire.
Good evening, Jeremy.
And from Urkistan, Foreign Minister Ivan Vodovich.
It's a great pleasure. Miss Wolf, you like...
And from Svenland, Minister of Mojo, Björn.
Hey, everybody.
Minister Vodovich, your country pushed especially hard for these sanctions. Any regrets?
My only regret is I was not able to see the face of my old friend Peter Clements when the results of the vote were announced. As you say, he has one up in your bottoms.
In Svenland, we try not to gloat, actually, because it's seen as really ugly and dangerous to some small creatures, yeah?
Oh,
Hey, Cryptic, hope you're doing well.
Ivan and I go way back. He's a wind-up merchant who can't put for shite.
Pete,
Just trying to get a rise out of me.
You're like a man who loads dissidents onto train to labor camp, not because of love of country, but to make up for the size of his tiny penis.
Oh, right.
The vodka, Ivan.
No more than you. I see you on election night with mouth like man thinks he's singing beautiful lullaby. But actually he's squealing like a pig in hands of Randy Big Dick Palmer. Eh?
Actually, we Svenlandians, we aren't size obsessed. We value passion, yeah? Like the way we spoke up for Mr. Clement's country at the World Council.
That's all well and good. And high and mighty, but where were you for the actual vote then? Our finger in each other's fjords?
Actually, that's kind of racist. And if you must know, I've had like a really tiring afternoon and my tongue is really sore.
Prime Minister, with Advance's popularity on the wane,
You don't have to bring that up at every given opportunity, you know.
Peter, he's like man who thinks he's sniffing flowers in beautiful glade. But he's actually standing under outflow pipe from shit factory at shit flushing time on day of village festival of shit. I tell him
I'm
this.
sorry you have a headache, Cryptic. I hope you feel better
Minister Vodovich
soon.
believes that left to their own devices, people will behave selfishly.
I'm doing okay.
However, in this country, we think our citizens are capable of being more than beasts.
Pathetic idealism.
Minister Björk, Svenland has long had radically different traditions and culture from the rest of the world, and yet it peacefully coexists. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, I think maybe the world sees us as something they can actually spiritually be enlightened to, yeah?
Yeah, or maybe it's the orgy houses.
Sometimes, when foreign dignitaries come to visit us, they're actually quite skeptical, actually. So we take them on a visit to the Donga district and show them what like a progressive, enlightened society looks like, yeah?
Shit of bull. Svenland is like woman who thinks she makes best cake in village hot baking contest. And then when she sliced it open, it's just full of piss and cum.
That's just really gross, actually.
Found in this teeny tiny country, with population smaller than number of people, Peter Clemens is
Thank you, Cryptic.
teeny tiny penis.
It's not all about size, actually.
I appreciate it,
Peter
yeah.
Clemens always claimed.
I'm talking about population size.
And I'm talking about Peter Clemens' teeny tiny...
Oh, fuck off, Ivan!
Oh, Prime Minister, please.
It's so easy to sit on your pile of money and gloat, isn't it, pal? You're a shite leader, a fucking god-awful golfer, and quite frankly, as my old man used to say, you're a bit of a cunt.
Prime Minister, please.
It's you who is cunt.
Minister Vodovich, please.
You people are fucking starving, pal.
We will see how well fed your people are when the sanctions start to bite. You think you're man like big scary wolf person terrorizing village, when actually a pathetic goose person searching puddle for tiny dropped off penis.
Why are you so obsessed about small cocks, mate?
In Finland, we believe like the size of your penis isn't as important as the love it contains, yeah?
Oh, fuck off, yeah.
Okay, if everybody could just calm down.
You're so smug on golf course. They are like man who fuck pig and somehow give her birth to beautiful lady girl. But now you start to see, yes? The people never happy. It's never enough.
It's certainly true that advances popularity.
It's on the fucking wane. Yeah, let's go with this bollocks again. Shall we? Actually, you know what? Nah, fuck this. I'm done with this.
Prime Minister, please don't storm out.
No. I have had enough of you, Mr. Jeremy Donaldson, and your snide aside. You think you could make a better job of things, do ya? Because it's not that fucking easy, let me tell ya. Your channel is a fucking disgrace. You insinuate and edit against us and pick your headlines so people don't trust us. The sooner you roaring monsters are taken into public ownership, the happier everyone in this country will be.
Well, we've not got long until the adverts, so...
I'm sorry for the outburst, Miss Wolf. Julia thinks very highly of you, and I know you're not the one making the editorial decisions.
Do any of you have anything you wish to add about the sanctions?
My work here is done. I like man who happy he lie down with fatty, drunk, easy girl from Village Inn, who discover in morning he wake up next to beautiful news reporter lady.
You know, I think it would be a terrible shame here if the people of your country were to suffer because of teenage grudges and personal rivalries, yeah.
Thank you. Prime Minister?
This country, this wonderful, civilized, creative, inventive country, we're not scared of these sanctions. There's no wolves at our door, only the best of people striving to help out. So no, Ivan, we're not afraid. In fact, I doubt we'll lose a wink of sleep because we're strong and we're well resourced and we don't back down to bullies.
And on that note, we have to wrap up.
Ministers, Prime Minister, thank you for joining us.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
So easy. So many buttons to push.
Piss off.
Will I see you at Graham's this weekend?
No, I've got meetings.
Thank you, Cryptic.
Well...
Yeah, I'm feeling much better, I promise. I'm working on everything, but
who think you are king and queen of village when actually you are just...
I'm glad you're feeling better, and or at least hopefully... Nope, not gonna. I'm hoping to feel better soon. Sorry it took me a little bit to respond. It's hard to read chat and respond to chat while I'm trying to focus on making sure I'm making the right decisions here. But...
Megan?
This is Jeremy. He'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's kind of like...
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimpanzee.
5 in 10 seconds.
See, put that get up on himself.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spots with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey.
Sorry, I'm adjusting the volume.
Be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What
a tale.
You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice.
Mr. Cheese Slice.
Anyway, we were like a family.
Fucking love that nickname.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children?
Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah, you love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the nation for your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snuff ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the press of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, the squilling bet letters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that mean, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little chances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry or wrong, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the Natural Lighting News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference.
Was it because I fucked up?
We will never censor.
Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. I'm gonna try that one more time because I did accidentally hit this wrong censor button.
Censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
All the way around the planet. There has to be a better way. Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Should I just like curse?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Meghan?
This is Jeremy. He'll be interviewing you.
Oh.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna look this up. Okay. That ending happens regardless of whether or not you censor. So we would have been fine. So we're just gonna run through that really quick.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite alright.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not gonna ask
An attempt was made. Whether or not you've actually censored it is not disclosed.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What
a tale.
You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice.
Mr. Cheese Slice.
Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it? Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer?
Oh, one second. I gotta adjust my chair because my back hurts. Yeah! If you need none of that, next aside, I'm fine. Just I'm good. Yeah, I get that, Cryptic. Life can be very stressful, and if you don't take breaks, and I'm sorry for the shaky camera. I'm trying to get my feet and legs in a comfortable position. Okay. Yeah.
But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children?
Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
We get to bop to this beat a bit.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the crest of the wave. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snuff ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, serve the crest of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, the squilling bit betters, and burn them on the powers of advances.
If only the lyrics were different, this would be a bop. I like the beat. I like the beat, I hate the lyrics.
Gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances, little dances aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry or wrong. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR.
No, this is ridiculous.
Pause that break.
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you
trust
to
me. My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Yeah! We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Ah. You want an elephant? You can take it away in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, here we go. Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense
Legs
hole.
akimbo.
And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris, Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime.
A pantomime,
But,
oh no!
This show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show.
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
and some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaner and my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Oh.
Provitamin formula is a deep fortifying, intensive treatment that repairs and protects hair from irresistible shine. Only Acide Gastrique contains an organic blend of ingredients that penetrate deep into your hair, breaking down citrulline and glycogen for hair that looks and feels healthier.
But your skin looks awful.
Acide Gastrique nourishes from root to tip for 8 times the strength of other brands. 6 out of 10 shampoo is recommended. Acide Gastrique.
Generous bonus. Not quite. Yeah, that's what we want to see on this run. I'm so sleepy. You've always had dinner as a family for the important events. Tonight's no exception. Charlie ostensibly resents not being able to go to his friend's house this evening, but you can tell he's happy to be with you, really. It'll be the last time you're all going to be together for a while. So far you've managed to avoid fighting with Susie over politics, something Sam is no doubt grateful for. With her exams and your work, you've not seen much of Susie lately. Of course, it's especially nice having your mom here. She and Susie were always close. Seeing your daughter step up and help out with your mother has been heartwarming. So Alex, I believe you had a few words, Sam reportedly asks, nodding towards Susie. Your daughter cocks an eyebrow with an quizzical expression, and you can't help but see a little of yourself in it. Ah, yes, of course. What is this about? Susie asks, laughing as she takes a drink of her champagne-adjacent sparkling wine. Sam has made a point this afternoon that it was a big day and should be celebrating her achievement. So our little Susie... Come on, we're waiting, Sam says softly. You're not going off about the government again, are you? You're like a broken record. Susie smiles at you, a twinkle in her eye. I just wanted to say we're proud of you, Susie. We're Well done getting into med school. Oh, Susie's mischievous smile becomes a grin as she gets up, comes around the table, and gives you a big hug. I'm going to miss you. You can see Sam start to tear up as they stand enjoying the embrace. Miss us? Are you going somewhere? Good question. Susie laughs, breaking the hug. No, you're not getting rid of me yet. I'll probably have to leave when I get my first posting. Oh, hush now. Let's not talk about that. Sam cuts her off, smiling. The rest of the evening passes as a happy blur. You couldn't be happier. Shopping. Something that always seemed tedious before the sanctions has become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you need for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back down to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully, whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually a checkpoint set up at the exit. A friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform, CCO emblazoned in a number of places on it, approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You roll it down. Good evening. Nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Weren't these cards supposed to be voluntary? Sorry, I don't have one. Ah, that's not a problem. I've got the forms with us right here, and we're more than happy to sign you up. The man gestures to his colleague behind him, a young woman in a similar uniform. She's clearly received the short end of the stick and is stuck with the paperwork. I thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they're not. There's also loads of benefits to having them and no reason not to get one. His smile fades a bit as he puts a hand up to scratch the back of his neck for a moment. He leans over you, his presence now seeming a little intimidating. No thanks, it's not something I want right now. Almost instantly, the friendly demeanor is gone and his expression is one of stern disapproval. Well, obviously, I can't make you sign up, but I would strongly recommend you do, and soon. We wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, would we? He takes a step back and gestures for you to drive on. You're sure you see him writing something down in your rearview mirror as you head home somewhat a little more hurriedly than before. Clearly, Advance are very keen on everyone joining the team. Invitation worth ignoring? It's Saturday, one of your few days off. You've made the most of it. As late afternoon draws on, an invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring at you accusingly. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event, Bozeman was very quick to tell you. Don't you dare be late. You've already skipped work once, a work weekend once, you can't do it again, best go. You start to get ready, wonder if Sam will give you a lift, a drink or two might help and reinforce a drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good at your job, right? You arrive on time, barely, at the Savanian, one of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice how very opulent the building is, possibly the fanciest place you've been to in your life. You submit to being pat down with a sigh of relief are led into the hotel. Once inside, you enter the grand ballroom. Following the signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place and amount the armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a severe-looking woman at the door asks your name. I'm Alex Winston. She currently checks her list before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You've made it just in time to be seated for dinner. Please follow Emmanuel here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately, you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second and take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow him. He seats you at the table in the central floor area with a decent view of the stage. Clearly, you're in Bozeman's good books at the moment. You're sat with some colleagues you've seen around the Channel 1 offices before, but don't know that well. One of them informs you far too excitedly. It's a very corporate evening of awards and speeches. The food should be good, at least. The dinner is lovely, and with the help of the no doubt very expensive wine, conversation flows easily enough. In fact, to your surprise, you're actually presented with the award for Best Newcomer to the Channel 1 family. Well, this was unexpected. As you walk up to collect it, you recognize the presenter as Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey of Incisors fame. He thanks Advance for sponsoring this year's gala before quickly thanking Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement for being in attendance tonight. As you take the stage, you see the frontmost central table does indeed seat the Prime Ministers, as well as Bozeman, Meghan, and some other well-to-do types that you don't recognize. That explains all the security. As you're handed the award, Dr. Atkinson Blimey asks if you'd like to say a few words. Ooh. We're gonna make a joke about Dave leaving the room. Fuck. I fucked up. Oh well. I wasn't gonna give praise to Advance. Most of the room breaks into polite laughter, but you see neither the Prime Ministers crack so much as a smile. And nor does Bozeman. He's too busy frantically flipping between examining Peter and Julia for a reaction and glaring daggers at you. They eventually join in light applause as Adrian ushers you back to your seat. That might not have been the smartest move. Just as you're finishing up dinner, one of the other people at your table points behind you. As you turn, you see Bozeman briskly walking past with Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement in tow. You're pretty sure he was pointedly ignoring you, which he seems to be introducing the Prime Ministers to a selection of people at different tables. Better them than you. As you finish the rest of the meal and listen to the last few speeches, you finish off the rest of the meal and listen to the last few speeches and then head home. All in all, it was a surprisingly nice evening. You might actually look forward to the next one. Bozeman provides you, providing Bozeman invites you to that one, of course. I cannot read today. I cannot read today.
I'm sweating like Peter Clement in an off-license here.
Okay, we're working on it.
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The regrettable decision taken by the World Council this morning have left the citizens of this country isolated and fearful. But Advance have prepared for this day. Our stockpiles are large, our wealth is unfathomable, and we will defend our citizens with every last breath from this latest brutal and calculated act of war. We are with you, one team, indivisible and strong. Thank you.
Match day, reformed bad boy Johnny Hamsleeves was seen out in public today for the first time since leaving rehab. The rehabilitated former sports star was photographed returning to public life, looking like a new man this morning as he shopped with friends. Ever since his crowd-pleasing appearance on the Whitney Chinmack show, the rumour mill has been wondering if a new relationship might be on the cards. Sources close to Johnny say a romance with ex-teammate Eric Justin would be no surprise and was common knowledge in the locker room. Though judging by the team's recent form, they may be the only ones scoring this season. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Hellhole, as construction on the hotly disputed Moves project is halted by the discovery of an ancient burial ground. Speculation today as to the nature of the corporation's next move. The revelation that the transport system is being built to a site of such spiritual and cultural significance rocked Remington's fist last night. Pictured here arriving for a board meeting this morning, contentious CEO Sophia Remington is expected to announce the future of the project later today. Looking decidedly determined and just a touch obstinate, the Maverick CEO is expected to say that the project is about building the future, not respecting the past. Reports that Sophia referred to warnings of an ancient curse as priceless are unconfirmed. Talking things through, a momentous subterranean summit today as the imprisoned intellectuals of Dante's Tate met in what was hailed as a breakthrough for tensions in the tunnels. With no help from the surface forthcoming to maintain the separate factions, the two leaders were forced to meet in order to resolve the dispute once and for all. Photos transmitted to the surface captured the surprising moment that the old rivals met face to face once more. Thankfully, Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensford
Svorsborg and
put their
Horgensford
differences aside and reunite, saying, if we're going to spend an eternity in a cave, we might as well pretend to be happy about it. Road to nowhere? A large turnout was reported last night for an illegal and unsanctioned demonstration by radical pressure group Disrupt. Although overzealous policing by some community cohesion officers led to isolated scuffles after the event, the activists managed to make an impressive visual display in the heart of Parliament Park. As well as burning itself into the minds of all those who see the image, the Disrupt symbol is also scorched into the turf in what can only be described as an impressive exercise in branding. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's up on tonight's National Nightly News.
How we doing, chat? You doing okay?
But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And You're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go.
Nibbles. Hey. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on.
Please.
This can't be right.
Oh, fuck.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says...
Why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful
I'm
results,
doing
I
okay.
think.
I'm very tired, very sleepy.
We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit.
There you go. Much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest. Enjoy that.
I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be.
You should play it, Newballs. It's great. I love this game.
Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, let's over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Dolmades? Have a coffee? I don't have any coffee.
Was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient.
I don't have coffee.
But we're all dying to know. What have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
I've been invited to Peter
Even
Clement's
instant.
house.
I don't
helping
drink coffee.
dredge
I
the
don't like
guttering.
coffee. Unless it's like
Absolutely
mocha.
terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
Are those the
So,
like
can you tell me
grape
about
leaf
the moment
things?
when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
Oh, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato. So Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
No.
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah, this big one's my favourite.
Oh, dear God.
It's a really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
Well, if it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which was recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? I don't know, living in the shadow of Arseminster. Oh, smug fucks. But who's laughing
Those
now?
smug fucks.
Tell you what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling
They
a
never
tax
explain what a
return or
flart
completing
is.
the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the few valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
Oh, that's not really a problem. I've never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take
I'm
my
wearing
shirt off.
sexy
You know
shorts
what?
now.
I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, mate.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy. Right.
Thanks, Barry.
You need to.
You thought my stream crashed for a second?
When we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons.
I
Don't
mean, for
go
the future,
away.
whatever you do,
Unless,
don't bleep
of
anything.
course,
I'm
you've
gonna
got
bleep
something
everything.
better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest, and Marks may request some censorship if he goes too off topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
I can't do this anymore.
We say this every Friday.
Pause for a minute. Oh.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
My mic is still on.
Ooh, ice cream.
That's what I'm talking about? Cat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grentham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5, 4, 3.
You lucky fucking duck.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy.
Plan is
Donaldson.
literally just saying it to rub it in my
Later,
face.
We'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. See, I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Whew! Is that?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Yes, that is spoken for.
What it'd be like to have
It is spoken for, Plan. It is mine. I will steal it from you.
I'm sorry, it's very hard.
I realized how harsh my reaction is to you saying you had.
Or a sellout cunt.
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say. Well, we may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on! This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once. Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Try not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. You in the broadcast centre.
Yep.
Bozeman's an escape code. You listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these 3 fucking idiots.
I
having my hiccups.
I gotta keep my viewership somehow.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on.
My viewership
Now,
drops
go.
if a cuss
Before I
word gets
change my
let
mind.
through.
Go. Before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Jenny, lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Good. Right. Yes. You in the broadcast centre.
Yep.
Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of your machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or banal. We're going to show the other side for a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
Ding! Ding, 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 ding. Love my disrupt run.
No advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID
Also,
card.
fine,
No
plan,
matter
you
what
can
they
eat
try to
it.
tell you. But why should you trust
I don't
us?
have...
Another faceless organization.
No, they didn't cut the signal. It's to cut the signal to the studio. This camera, this is what's being broadcasted. This is the cameras in the studio. This is what which camera I'm going to show eventually. But this is what's
My
being
name is Alan
shown
James.
to everyone, so they can
I
see
used
this.
to try and shock people for a living, for
I have
entertainment.
2 days.
But now we live in a
Busy.
time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up.
Shocked?
Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labours.
My name is first
They will
name,
take our
McNass
wealth.
name.
They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us.
Hi, my name is
Talk
Jeff
with
Steve.
us.
My name Jeff.
Join us. It isn't hard. We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. This was unexpected. This was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy? So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off. It was supposed to be your day.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long?
You already lied.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for what I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is... What's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. it's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
Don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. You'd want to do this. Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There is a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that fig came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No. I didn't know. The people I met were with... He wasn't there.
God,
I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously, Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
Not right.
Is that right?
Look, forget Alan.
Don't censor that one. Fucking is his middle name.
And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grentham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these?
Fair point.
Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't...
Do you want my help,
Yes,
Andy?
yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. They will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. When nearly done. All cameras on me.
I got you, mate.
This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms,
The blue
shouldn't we ask
censor
who we're
segments are
hanging
the
on
stuff to segment
Don't you wanna know
for
what's being done in
advance.
your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you all to see that broadcast from the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried. I loved them. And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry.
Dad.
I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
Down.
Please, we can't show
All
you.
of you.
Cut to the ads.
My name's Jamie
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can, somehow. I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy!
Ferris wheel. Carousel. Roller coaster. We've got none of that, but I can tell you what we do have. Danger cars. Colourful germ pit. This swing.
That's a lovely swing.
Stay with us in our rustic accommodation with all the facilities you'd expect.
A+, let's go.
Water.
I don't really care about that one. Green? Yellow? Ah, yellow. All right. Onward! Onward, onward, onward. I don't want to see the world on fire. I just want to know. Don't even know the words to that song. You wake up still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa between Sam and Susie. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night. After Jeremy, with the gun, Sam chokes down a sob. It was awful. On national television. How could he do that? And now, after a horrible pause, Sam finally asks, "Are you okay, honey?" I don't want to set the world on fire. Isn't that what I've been singing? I've been singing, that's what I was singing. I can't believe he's gone. Sam looks to the kids, then back at you. Thank you, Rish. Thank you. Couldn't remember the fucking line. Sam looks to the kids, then back at you. We saw you chose to play that tape. I put the pause at the wrong spot, but who cares? They paused before continuing. I couldn't help but wonder why. It seemed like the right thing to do. You did the right thing, but that was it was a crazy situation, but it was the right thing to play the tape, Charlie says quietly. Sounders are knocking on my door. Why are the Sounders knocking on my door? I'm confused. Henry, I'm confused. It's good to have your son on your side. For what it's worth, Alex, you were in an impossible situation and somehow managed to make the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. If only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticize you. Can criticize what you did. I'm proud of you. I've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. Take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. Or knocking on the door. Oh. You take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's a lot to take in. You're not sure you fully process what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it all. You look to your daughter. We've never agreed on anything, but even then, I didn't think you'd do something this stupid. Susie throws a newspaper onto the coffee table, and Jeremy's face stares up at you. Well done, you. She gets up and leaves the room, clapping slowly as she does. You sigh and absent-mindedly turn on the TV. At least you've got some company. The TV's playing through some old Western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you'd hoped. You're never going to please everyone. There is a canker sore on the tip of my tongue. It's just bugging the shit out of me. Muffled thud wakes you and Sam in the middle of the night, and it takes you a few seconds to realize it came from the kitchen. You tentatively make your way downstairs and turn down the music. Grabbing an umbrella from near the front door, more a comfort than an actual weapon, you push open the kitchen door. You lift the umbrella halfway above your head before you realize it's Charlie stumbling around in the dark. One of the kitchen chairs has been knocked over. He's up to his elbow in a box of cereal, and he looks to you and sees you standing in the doorway, your mix of worry turning to a mixture of curiosity and anger. What are you doing crashing around at this time of night? Your son sheepishly slurs that he was out with some friends and there were a few beers. As he sways on his feet, a strong smell of alcohol wafting from him tells you there were more than a few. You think it's a good idea to be wasting your Saturday nights getting drunk with these mates of yours? He sighs, stares at the floor. Look, you can tell me, or I can go get Sam and the three of us can talk it out. No worries, Noobles. He starts at the hard tone, then looks up at you in a defiant glare. We're not wasting our nights. We're doing what is important. We're helping disrupt to make a difference. He slams the cereal box onto the table in what you are sure was meant to be a grand gesture, but the puff of sugary frosted flakes undermines the effect. You're 15. Go to bed, Charlie. Sleep it off. Charlie chuckles, shaking his head, leaving without a word. Not the reaction you expected. You remember you used to go to the park together, you'd push him on the swings, and now he's going there for rallies. God, you're old. Hopefully he doesn't wake Sam on his way to bed, for his sake. You got off work early today, a rare enough occurrence to put a spring in your step. As you close the front door, you can hear excited conversation bubbling from the kitchen. Someone clearly popped around for a cuppa with Sam's Friday off. Hopefully there are still some biscuits left. As you enter the kitchen, you see Sam and Susie enthusiastically discussing something. Your daughter is still in her scrubs, clearly having come straight from work. I got the posting I was hoping for, she gushes. I'll be doing my placement in the new transition center. No! No, Susie, no! Why, Susie? Why? Really helping people like Grandma. A transition center? Why would you want to work in one of those horrible places? Because I want to help people. People are suffering like Grandma. She's in pain and talked about it for a while now. Susie and Sam share a knowing but strained smile. Hardly surprising that you don't get that, though. Sam's already put their coat on. Come on, sweetie, let's go out. We can discuss it over dinner, my treat. The front door's slamming is the last sound before the silence of the house enfolds you. Ouch. It's been 6 months since you and Sam last discussed Grandma's ever-increasing medical costs. And Emma, while it's very pleasant, has proved an expensive nurse, as you feared. You can't quite believe it's been that long already, but the sanctions are really starting to hit home, and unfortunately the government's only solution to helping ailing elderly is a day trip to the transition center. Why does everything seem to come back to money? It's time you sat. This time, it's you at the kitchen table surrounded by bills and paperwork. When Sam comes to join you. Today, Emma told you that there was really nothing more you could do except an expensive experimental new treatment that might not even help. Sometimes your mom wants the treatment, more often she talks about visiting a transition center. It's hard to know what she really wants. Sam puts a hand on yours. What are we going to do, honey? She's your mother, it has to be your choice. No worries, Plan. Thanks for stopping by. There's nothing we can do. We can't afford the treatment, that's it. These things are never a choice. Hopefully the kids will understand. It's all you could do given the circumstances. If only things had been different. Circumstances. Alright, I'm actually gonna call it here. I'm really tired.
Good evening. I'm Megan Moore. And I'm Jeremy Jones. Our main headlines tonight.
It definitely seems like this runs a little harder, considering I have to give up a lot more for Disrupt as opposed to Advance. So this is definitely interesting how it's playing out. Like last time we had enough money to try the experimental thing, but also to send our daughter on that trip. So we had enough money for both. I don't remember what I spent all that money on now. But yeah. Give me 1 second. I would stream longer, but I'm really quite tired. Alrighty. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for being here. Now I've got the hiccups. I'm gonna go to bed. Have a wonderful night. I will see you all later. Bye.